Hi and welcome back to Chop's Garage. We've got custom valeting the new 66 plate Dacia Duster 4x4 I've got in with only 44,000 miles on it. So custom valets did a beautiful job of cleaning the Dacia. I ran it home and back last night and checked it's all good. But when I came to it this morning, I noticed it had loads of little bits of iron filing type stuff in the paint. What do we call it? Fallout, is it? Well, I don't know what we call it. Well, fallout remover is what we use to remove it. So I've doused that and cleaned it off, and that's got a lot of it off. But there's still some persistent bits hanging around. So what we're going to do now, to give the car the best finish we can, is give it a clay bar, which I don't know if you've come across this before. I mean, any brand will do. I've got, I happen to have a McGlure's one here because that's one that was in the Halfords when I went there. So what it is basically, it literally is a piece of clay. I think you can use building putty as well, plumber's putty as well, and you spray it on with any kind of lubricant. You can just use soapy water and plumber's putty if you want. This is much more expensive than that, but I just grabbed it quickly today. And as it goes along, I'll show you in a bit, it picks up all the little imperfections in the paintwork. If you run your hand over the paintwork, you'll have quite a slightly, your fingers will drag. Once you've done it with this, you'll find they won't drag because it's just pulled all the imperfections out. I'll find a spot to try and show you a best example of it working. Probably here on the boot lid. Don't know if you can see, you've got little speckles just in there. So if we give that a quick spray. Not sponsored by anybody, obviously, because I'm telling you to buy builder's putty instead of this expensive stuff. But if we go on there and then I just rub that there, it pulls it straight off. And you can feel the putty starts to move smoothly over the paintwork instead of grabbing straight away. If we look now, let me get a cloth a second. Yeah, there you go. You can see how bright white that is without any of those imperfections anymore, unlike this bit just here that I haven't done yet. Time consuming, but worthwhile. I just don't want a customer taking the car away because it'll look shiny in the pictures. It'll look shiny when they come and see it. I don't want them taking it away and then one day giving the car a good clean and going, oh, what's these bits everywhere in the paintwork? It's just going to spoil their experience, isn't it? So we'll go across the car, do the whole thing. Shouldn't take too long. Hopefully it should be done in an hour. There we go, all done. Only took me half hour actually, and you can see it's just, can you? Let's get the towel on here. The paintwork now doesn't have any of those small little blemishes in it. Again, I think a lot of people probably wouldn't notice, but if you can sort it out, you should sort it out. Didn't take too long, and the paint's going to pop a lot better now for the new owner. It's going to look a lot better in photos because it will have been making it look a bit duller. The paint wouldn't have been popping quite as much as it could have done. Yeah, so we'll get this photographed now. I'll get it photographed now while it's clean. We've got to pop it down to Moore's. It has got an engine light on for a boost. Issue with the boost, and I can hear a whooshing in the engine bay. So I think we've got a boost leak somewhere. It doesn't stop it from forming like a little rocket ship though. These do fly. I know it sounds funny saying that, but they do bloody fly along, these little 1.5 DCIs. The car's not particularly heavy. You've got 225 foot-pound of torque available, about 1500 RPM. So they're little flyers. You wouldn't believe how they bomb along, but obviously they do great fuel as well. If you need a 4x4, but you can't be affording the bills for 4x4s, you know, 25 miles a gallon and all that kind of stuff, then one of these little puppies, they're full-blown 4x4, proper 4x4, but you get great MPG out of them. They don't cost an awful lot to buy. What's this? Probably, I think this is 9 grand. 8995 on a 66 plate with 40,000 miles on. Obviously if you bought something a bit more luxurious for that, you'll be double that, wouldn't you? But yeah, this would cost you peanuts to run, and I find that engine really reliable as well. So there we have it. Famous last words. We'll go down to Moore's now and find out we've got a massive bill. Now another thing that is fantastic value for money and does a great job is of course our long-term sponsor Surfshark. Surfshark provides you with a VPN, a virtual private network. That VPN provides you with a secure internet connection that others can't spy on, like those that want to grab your data and those that want to defraud you. With Surfshark on your mobile phone, on your laptop, you can go to coffee shops, service stations, anywhere you want to use public internet connections and know you're safe all the time you're using it. Something especially important for business users like me to have on our devices, because I'm constantly out and about logging into various accounts, my bank account to make bank transfers, to log onto my eBay account, my Amazon account to make payments for various parts and so forth that I need. So I need to make sure while I'm out and about using my devices to make these payments, that I've got a secure connection all of the time. Always been clear for me that also one of the added major benefits of having a Surfshark account is its ability for it to allow me to access geo-locked content. What do I mean by geo-locked content? What I mean is that when you go onto the likes of Amazon Prime, when you go onto the likes of Netflix, those kind of platforms, they will restrict the movies and series you can watch based on the location you're in. But by using your Surfshark account to change your IP address to different locations across the world, you can get access to loads of different content that you wouldn't normally be able to view. So as said, Surfshark is incredible value for money. You can, with one account, use it on multiple devices, but at the moment they have an unbeatable deal. So go to surfshark.com/chops or use the code CHOPS at the checkout to get 4 months extra free. As always, massive thanks to Surfshark for being a continued sponsor of Chops Garage. So here's the Dacia all ready for its photo shoot. Just to put it in perspective, not to make you have sympathy for car dealers, but just to make you understand the cost involved in car dealing. As it stands at this point, for valeting fees, for my time valeting, and for the pickup alone, we're already at about £300, and that's before we have before we've had the issue with the turbo boost sorted and a new MOT put on it. So we were about 30 quid into cleaning products, plus the fee from custom valets for the wet cleaning of the seats, because it was pretty filthy inside, and all the valeting they did, plus me doing decontamination this morning and cleaning. Now, if this car's test driven a couple of times and then it gets sold and goes out the door, it'll probably be cleaned at least twice more as well. And if we said, even if they were just quick rinses over, we're talking about another 20 or 30 quid. Yeah, you can see how quickly the sums start adding up. So that's just for the valeting side alone. My wife is quite ruthless about this. I've come back and tell her stories of people test driving cars and then not buying them for daft reasons. She said, you charge for test drives, because if you think about it as well, let's say a car is test driven a couple of times and we put a decent amount of fuel in it before it goes out the door. So it's 20 quid, so we've got minimum 20 quid in it before it goes out the door. But it's test driven a couple of times, we're 30 quid into fuel as well. So if someone comes and test drives the car but doesn't buy it, just their test drive and fuel alone, between the cleaning and the fuel, could be 15 quid for the test drive. So again, it's not for you to, for me to say that dealers don't make money out of cars. Yes, they make money out of cars. That's how they function as a business. But it's just give you an idea of the costs that are involved. And again, give you an idea of why, if the car's put up at a fair price in the first place, you really have no right to be going trying to knock hundreds of pounds off of it. Especially if you want it prepped properly in this kind of this. Fair enough, you're going to take it as is, and someone doesn't spend hours decontaminating the paint. Yeah, if you want it at its best, you need to pay the fair price for the car and not expect to knock it down. So yeah, I mean, to estimate forwards, if we add in those costs, add in, let's say, the MOT. I mean, even a good car now, I'm 500 quid in for an MOT, so we've got 500 quid for just standard MOT stuff. Then the repair, hopefully it's not a turbo. Let's say we're at £800 into that. We're probably, £1,200, let's say, with valeting fees, everything else. The VAT man is going to want probably £400, so probably about £1,700. So that's why, if I want to make about £800 net before I pay the tax man, who obviously will have, at least 40% of that £800 as well, I need to have 2.5k across the car. So that's why when you see your car advertised on a dealer forecourt and when you get offered a part exchange price, that's why you're seeing about 2.5k. Unless your car is absolutely showroom ready, as in you've put a brand new advisory free MOT on it, it needs no paint work on it at all, and you've turned it up pristine valeted, that's why they're going to want about 2.5k across your car. Unbelievably though, most cars sell at auction with only about £1,500 to £2,000 in them, and then you have your auction fees on top. So it's a tight game. It's a tight game. As I've said to many of you before, a lot of dealers, they're true net after the tax man's had his bite, after the VAT man's had his bite, everything else is about 500 quid, so you ain't going to knock £500 off the car when you go and offer it. Obviously, it won't sell unless I actually get these photos done, so enough of that. This is one of the reasons also you'll find cars advertised before they're fully ready as well. The car is obviously absolutely pristine at this point in time, obviously. So I'm going to photograph it now while it's pristine. I'll get it up on the site, get some interest in it while Moores are doing the work, because I'm confident that the car will come back with an advisory free MOT, and with that resolved, we'll do oil and filters as well. I need to check the cam belt on this as well. If it hasn't had a cam belt, I'll probably include that in the price or make it a negotiable point. on the point of sale. Right, hopefully we can get some nice light and get some pictures done. So while I was photographing the Dacia, which I'm now dropped down for its repair work, we've got 2 cars going out potentially to subscribers. Well, this one has sold to a subscriber. They came along while I was photographing the Dacia and purchased this. It's an Antara, isn't it? I keep calling it Captiva. It's an Antara. So if you remember, we sold this one before. A lady bought it back after 3 months, said it was a bit heavy on the steering, and bought the Focus Estate. Well, our subscriber's wife was looking for a car that was easy to get in and out of. She wanted automatic and wanted a bigger vehicle. They've got a Kodiaq, a new Kodiaq, and took this out and loved it. And I said, do check. Obviously, you're happy with the steering. It's not too heavy for you, but she drove it lovely. Seemed very comfortable with it. So that is going out the door for them. That one's sold. Such good value for money. 3995, 62 plate. Such a lot of car for the money. I really do think these are cracking value for money. And that Isuzu 2.2 is a very reliable engine. The other car is just about to potentially go out. Our subscriber test drove it yesterday for his daughter. Was happy with it. He's bringing her back any minute now to make sure she's happy with it. This Hyundai i30. Took it back down to Moors quickly because I was hearing some squeaking from the new bushings they put in. Turned out they just needed to tighten them down a little bit more. So that's potentially going out. We've got the Peugeot being picked up by this customer that brought it back in for a bit of warranty work. We did the resistor fan on it, so that one's due to be picked up tonight. PT is machine polishing the Focus. Now the dent guy got the dent out the boot on it. We just want to because it's such a nice looking car. I want to take it to the next level. So PT is machine polishing it. Taught Pete to machine polish the other day. I wasn't very confident doing it. He thought we'd burn through the paint. I showed him that he isn't going to burn through the paint, and now he's happy as Larry doing it. He's just done this side of the car, which is a great help to me because I get really backed up with machine polishing stuff. It's always at the back of the queue to be done, but it makes such a difference to the cars that we really want to do it as often as we can. So yeah, the alloys are pretty minty on this. It's looking amazing. As I said a few times in the video now, if you need to have an estate but you still like to have a bit of fun when you drive and you still want your cars to look good, this is one good looking machine. And although it's a 2019, because it's got 86 on the clock but does have a full service history, price isn't too bad. Michelin's all the way around, so whoever had it believed in good rubber as well. Really liking the looking of the VW Transporter. Now we put the bra on the front and gave it a polish up. I want to just fiddle with the wheels today and then photograph that. I want to get the heat gun and get the creases out of this bra because the sun is out today. Hopefully the heat will get into it and smooth it out a bit, but I don't really like the look of them with those on the front. Possibly would have got a better quality one. This one's a bit generic and doesn't fit quite as nicely as I'd like, but whoever has it, I'm sure is going to customise the hell out of it themselves, aren't they, and get it the way they want it. So yeah, just going to deal with some of the stuff going on with the alloys here, make them look a bit better. It will probably sell without me doing it, but it's bugging me every time I walk by them. I just want to deal with these little triangular bits that are corroded. If I sand those down, I can make those nice again, and they'll look good against the black. I'll either paint them black so the whole wheel's black, or I'll just leave them sanded back, put a bit of lacquer on them maybe. But yeah, again, Custom Valets does a fantastic job of cleaning the inside of this out. Look at that. Ooh, it looks minty, minty, mint. We took the seat covers off, fearing the worst, that there'd be a lot of staining underneath them, but there isn't. They're really nice nick, both the front and the rear ones. That boy worked his little heart out yesterday, he really did. Yeah, so all the seats are actually in really nice condition, so that was a concern. Probably would have a rock and roller in here myself though, so you can have it as a sofa bed as well if you want. Probably get Pete to machine polish this as well. It's just got a lot, again, hedgerow. Just a lot duller than it needs to be because all the hedgerow scratches there. So probably get Pete onto that. You may ask what I'm doing while Pete's doing all this work. Well, there's a huge amount, as I've said before, of every time these need to be photographed, and then they need to be uploaded onto various different sites, and I need to respond to the people that are interested in them. I'm doing it, obviously, the test drives with people, and obviously doing all the paperwork and signing up with them, prepping all that. So if it was just me here, half of these wouldn't be prepped. But we do seem to be, we're working away through them pretty well. There's still a lot of unprepped stock here, still an awful lot of unprepped stock here. And oh, it was one car over here everybody was asking about from the last video I didn't mention. I got it off a subscriber, 2002 Audi A2. I just think these are really cool little design. I have really no idea why I bought it other than that. I've just always admired the design. I think it's some of Audi's best work, a bit like the original TT. This one's a lovely colour as well, this sort of metallic-y blue with the alloys on it. I love this glass roof at the back here. It's in really nice condition, and the mileage though, it's only 75,000 miles, but there's a reason the gear lever cover is up. It test drove fine around the yard, but when I went for a longer run and it got warm, I started to have problems with fifth, going back from fifth into fourth. When it's cooler, it's fine, but when it gets warm, it starts to be hard to do it. And we've since spotted there's new gear linkages as well, so it looks like someone's been in there and had a go already. I think it may benefit from a gearbox flush back in with some additive, because it's not really, it's totally drivable as it is. As long as you know that's what it is, you just change gear a bit. As soon as you change gear a bit slower, it's fine. It's like if you go into a corner and try and fast change, then you get a bit of a crunch, or sometimes it's hard to get it in. It might be that fresh gearbox oil and some additive is enough to make the difference, but we'll see. We'll have a go at doing that, and we'll take it out again. But there's just something really cool about it. Worth really good money now. On a 2002 with that mileage, it's probably still a £4 car, you know. Right, so everyone that keeps messaging me about wanting to buy the 1.9 PD Audi A4 from my last, well, not last video, from my video quite a few weeks ago, you need to stop messaging me, because I'd already agreed to sell it to this reprobate from Wales, Mad Mike from Classic Wheels Wales, who's giving it to your builder, aren't you? Look at the generous little man he is. Oh, he's an electrician. He's giving it to his electrician who desperately needs a car. We'd agreed this when I first put the video out in the first place, so that's why I couldn't sell it to everyone. It's been sat here for, how long has it been sat here for since we did it? A month? 2 months. Started on the button. The battery wasn't even the slightest bit down. It started straight up on the buttons. It's got half a tank of diesel in it, which is Pete, we didn't drain it before he got here. And we've just put in some air in the tyres because it has been sitting here. Yeah, we forgot to drain the tank, didn't we, Pete? And yeah, so he's going to drive it back to Wales now, and we're hoping, obviously, as a PD, it gets him there quite comfortably. We've done a bit of a deal, because I've taken back in this same cash car I sold Mike, that he did the MOT work on, sold it to a customer, and he's taking it back off the customer. He needed somebody to get down there, so I bought that as a little cheapie. What do we reckon that's worth, Mike?
28.
2,800? Yeah. Okay, yeah. How many miles has it got? 130 on it now, is it?
32, I think.
The 2011, isn't it?
2012.
2012.
Yeah.
It's got our favourite engine in it, one of our favourite engines.
Yeah.
Another great engine, the 1.5 DCI, the Renault engine.
Just had new battery, tyres.
New battery tyres. Did you say it's had a cam belt as well?
Yeah, cam belt on 111. It was on 18 months ago.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, that'll be a really nice cheapie for me to sell. That market, as I've said before, is really, really buoyant. Mike's just driven it down from Wales, so we know it's a good, solid bit of motoring. I think I got this in part exchange from the main dealer, didn't I think? If I remember rightly. Or did I buy it off Joe? I think I bought it off Joe at Shifting Metals, one of his part exchanges. So yeah, we'll get that cleaned up, get that up for sale, and yeah, we might even do 495 that. It'll be a nice cheap run around for someone. So yeah, things moving along as they should do. We've got to clean up the Mercedes today, because that's sold to our subscriber. It's just got flown for its MOT with no worries. So we'll give that a clean up, give him a ring and let him know that's ready. We've got to put a bumper on the Mariva so we can get that up for sale. Anyway, let's deal with Mike, and I'll catch you a bit. Yeah, Mike, show him. You're the first person in existence. He doesn't realise the importance of this. He's the first person in existence to have a Chops Garage keyring. Yeah, he's the first man in existence with a Chops Garage keyring. Joe at Shifting Metal got fed up with me not having merch and decided, look, I'll just take over doing it for you, James. So I'll put a link to his site he's done for that down below. But what's he got? He's got key rings, he's got, I think he's got stickers, I think he's got mugs, I think he might have some t-shirts or something. But yeah, I can't be bothered with that merchandise stuff myself. It's just too much hassle for me picking and packing and posting, so we'll leave it all to Joe. So yeah, so Mike's going to head back. Mike, I need your opinion on this. Come and tell me whether this is a classic or not yet. Don't clean it for him too, P. That's too generous. Audi A2 1.4 with 75,000 miles on it. Low owners as well, I think. It's not the diesel. I've always quite fancied trying one of the diesel ones. It's the petrol. Yeah. So is this classed as a classic yet?
Oh,
It's a modern classic though, isn't it?
It's a modern classic, yeah.
I do like. I like the styling of it. It's quite cool. Hold on, I've got the garage ringing me. Let's find out what's up with one of our cars.
Can I open this?
No, not a chance. See you later, mate. Don't forget, the latest raffle is live. You can win this 2015 Ford Fiesta ST, little weapon of a hot hatch. This one widely regarded as one of the best handling hot hatches out. This one's been fettled a little bit. I think it's probably running about 200 brake horsepower. Tickets are only £1 a ticket, so only £1 a ticket. You can also choose to have £4,000 cash instead if you wish. If you're not bothered by the car, we'll give you £4,000 cash instead. But either way, when you enter, you help support this month's charity, which is Ability FC. That is the football team, the local football team down in Barnstable for children and adults with learning disabilities and special needs. And yeah, they can do with all the support they can get at the moment. They've lost a big sponsor, so we're trying to help them out. They can get kit, go on trips, all that kind of stuff. We helped them out once before and they're extremely grateful, so I want to help them out again. I'll put a link to the raffle in the video description down below.